What up, YouTube? I'm Joshua Dufurrena. So anyways, I'm going to tell you why SpongeBob Forced to Be in Mr. Squidward's Classroom with Patrick will have to be a third TV film on June 14th of 2020. I'll tell you why. In the new film, SpongeBob would get in trouble with the law enforcement for stealing someone's stuff and doing all the bad things. So that's the reason why SpongeBob's going to be forced to be in Mr. Squidward's class, okay? This time, it's not going to be Squidward pretending to be Squilliam, okay? Okay? So SpongeBob Forced to Be in Mr. Squidward's Classroom is expected to be a third TV film on June 14th of 2020, okay? So Judge Trout, even though Squilliam Fancy Sin's not seen in the film, he's mentioned by Squidward, okay? Even though Squilliam doesn't appear in this film, he's mentioned by Squidward. So, Squilliam does not appear in this film, but is instead mentioned by Squidward, as he states that he is filling in for Squilliam since Squilliam is serving a life sentence in prison without parole. And also, when SpongeBob and Patrick are in Bikini Bottom Protagonist Music College in Squidward's class, they both call him Mr. Squilliam. So Squidward will not be annoyed in this film when SpongeBob is in his class at Bikini Bottom Protagonist Music College with Patrick. So this is a third TV film that released in 2007 on February 22nd. This episode is different to Professor Squidward since Squilliam doesn't appear in this film. SpongeBob gets arrested by the police and is taken to court. And Judge Trout says he will not send SpongeBob to prison as long as he goes to Mr. Squidward's classroom with Patrick. He will not send SpongeBob to Bikini Bottom jail as long as SpongeBob goes to Bikini Bottom Protagonist Music College with Patrick being in Squidward's class, where Squidward is a teacher, being called Mr. Squidward. And also, SpongeBob agrees to go to Bikini Bottom Protagonist Music College with Patrick staying in Squidward's class, where Squidward is a teacher. And then SpongeBob goes to Bikini Bottom Protagonist Music College with Patrick. And when he is there with Patrick, they are told to raise their hands for Squidward if they have any questions. And when SpongeBob tickles his foot, Patrick and Squidward tell him to stop tickling his foot, meaning that's enough. 5 hours later, Squidward thanks SpongeBob for behaving in class all day, and Patrick rewards SpongeBob. So SpongeBob's parole officer will not be in this film. Instead, he's going to be told by Judge Trout that he will not go to prison as long as he goes to Squidward's class. Here's what Judge Trout will be like. Since your records show no violations of the law, I will not put you in jail this time, SpongeBob. But if you do not stay in Mr. Squidward's classroom with Patrick, I will put you in jail and melt the key down myself. Am I clear? So, Officer John Slugfish and Officer Rob Johnson. So, those are the two policemen that will arrest SpongeBob in this film, okay? So, but because Squilliam's not appearing in this film, he will not appear in this film. Instead, he's going to be mentioned by Squidward Tentacles when Squidward says that Squilliam's serving a life sentence in prison without parole. I think Squilliam went to prison because, he just killed, Mr. Krabs' dad. So I think Squilliam Fancy Sin's gone to prison because he killed Mr. Krabs' father. And I want to tell you, what do you guys think? SpongeBob Forced to Be in Mr. Squidward's Classroom with Patrick will be a third TV film on June 14th, 2020 on Nickelodeon, okay? I'll tell you some of the characters right here. SpongeBob SquarePants, Squidward Tentacles / Mr. Squidward, Patrick Star, Officer John Slugfish, Officer Rob Johnson, Judge Trout, Squam Fancy Sin is mentioned, Fred, Abigail, Marge, Dale, Dabby, Reed, Evelyn, Gus, Harold, Bill, Reginald, Ivy, Frankie, Billy, Mevis, Pecco, Archie, and Donna, Normal Blue, and Harrison, and Nigel Walters cameo. It makes a cameo. Nat Peterson, Sheldon, Dad Diaz, Buddy, and Anchovy, and Clint. Those are the characters for this film. So this film premiered in 2007 on February 22nd. Even though it wasn't made in 2007, I still declared that air dates are meant to be fake and real, okay? So get ready for SpongeBob Forced to Be in Mr. Squidward's Classroom with Patrick. That needs to happen on June 14th, 2020. I'll see you guys later. Bye.